This was the single funniest thing Arcane has ever done. Look, I'm a drama whore. When things go wrong, I'm gonna be right there popping bottles and watching the chaos unfold. But this ginger jump scare might be the most out-of-pocket thing I have ever seen. Caitlyn and Vi being a couple has been a thing that's been implied since 2012. We've had a decade of thirst building up for that sweet, sweet confirmation, only for season 1 of Arcane to blue ball us. So for us to finally get it, only for the only one getting to be Maddie, sent me through the roof just from the sheer audacity of it. And I think we're allowed to laugh rather than be annoyed, as, let's be honest, shippers would burn riot to the ground if Kate actually ended up with Maddie. So this bitch is leaving the show either single or in a body bag, as we got 3 episodes left and no time for a love triangle. So let's break down the cope and the hilarity of this rebound and how Kate really folded the second Vi came back into her life.
Don't sugarcoat it, Cupcake. I want you.
So I guess I should just go into greater detail on my initial response to this scene. I can't believe they did this. Oh, that shit was so funny. Oh. Pretty much that. I paused, double-backed, and howled as the whole reveal was just comedy gold. Kate, a few months into her dictatorship, finally comes to the realization that this man was able to get to in like 10 seconds.
Are we the baddies?
Yes.
Like, the reveal is so good. As you think she's alone, then you get the voice. And there's just enough time to think that, wait, who is this? Does she have like some secretary? Like, oh my. The slide in from the hand, the reveal. It's so perfectly staged to just hit that right kind of shocking as you realize that Kate may have been doing crime, but she made time to do other things. Emphasis on thing, as we know nothing about this woman.
Junior Officer Nolan. Maddie.
Do I look like I care?
The reveal is crazy. The talk, though, is essentially the show just giving Kate a way to verbalize all of her doubts about Mbessa, only to ignore them so that she can keep doubling down. Maggie is out here trying to be Kate's rock, even though from the outside, this is clearly just a temporary thing. She's saying, oh, Knox is here to keep us safe, but if you wanted to end martial law, we could absolutely do that too, babe. Which Kate appreciates. Not enough to stay in bed, though.
I'll come to bed soon.
What the fuck, bro?
That's gotta sting, but it does demonstrate how little influence Maddie actually has. And honestly, I find this scene just great on a meta level, as this relationship is clearly so unserious. Like, be for real, we have 3 episodes left of Arcane. There are so many loose plot threads and trauma to deal with, therefore we do not have time for a love triangle. Not even the show has time for her, as this girl doesn't show up once after episode 4. Yeah, keep that in mind. Maddie showed up, then dipped out of the story, so at no point does the relationship feel like it's anything other than an unserious rebound. Hell, Mbessa implies that this hookup is a very recent event. Maddie has like 3 lines in Act 1 with her just being there to guilt trip Vi into joining the Enforcers, revealing how Kate had to fight to get Vi this job, hype her up as this amazing fighter and hero, and also threatening to cut off Mummy's money, making the victim of police brutality feel bad that she ran away when her situationship tried to talk her into it. Maddie here is kinda just a fangirl, with the information she reveals being more important than who she is or how she says it. And you know this because the story doesn't let her speak for the rest of Act 1, leaving her to be just another member of Kate's hit squad, a background character who never voices her opinion on the situation at hand. With Kate being kinda easily convinced to send her and the men away, the only other thing of note Maddie does is being the first person to beat her chest and show support for Kate becoming a dictator. Anyone could have done this. Maddie might believe in Kate more than anyone else. She might also just be naive enough to not realize what a bad thing this could be. The lack of depth and attention Maddie gets makes it so that the possible significance of this gesture isn't really present doesn't really make Maddie more of an interesting person by doing it. Instead, it just amounts to prime meme fodder about, oh, she doesn't know what martial law is and how she was really just excited to hit. Slap on the fact that this scene is meant to be taken sinisterly, the culmination of Mbessa's plan to escalate conflict and get control of Hex Tech. This one big moment you could point to for Maddie and Kate, it doesn't really hold up well. Meaning the fact that Kate hooks up with her post-time skip to be both shocking in that it happens and also shocking in like, oh, it was her? But the lack of focus, how much the show has built up Kate Vi, all of it makes Maddie McScottish feel like a speed bump rather than an actual threat. Hence why I laugh versus getting annoyed when other shows pull shit like this. Usually when a show throws out a romantic dead end, it's just annoying, as we know we're about to have our time wasted as we're avoiding what is clearly endgame. Sometimes the justifications for why can be okay on paper, but from a viewing experience, it is asinine. But Arcane doesn't have any time. We are in the home stretch. This isn't Spider-Man comics, so we know we're not gonna get done that dirty. So essentially, Maddie is either gonna get broken up with in a throwaway, turn out to be a traitor, or just die in the final fight. Best case scenario, Maddie gets a moment to be frustrated that she spent the last few months trying to support Kate only for her to ignore her and then team up with Vi the second she comes back into her life.
Don't sugarcoat it, Cupcake.
I want you so raw.
If she ends up being a major player, I will be shocked, but cool. Yeah, like legitimately, that's cool if she ends up doing something. But I had high hopes for the Vander XP, and he just dipped out of the story mid-music video, as the real one showed back up.
Don't touch my daughter.
Ultimately, this whole relationship can be chalked up to the fact that Kate is doing everything but Vi right now to cope with her guilt. She still blames herself for what happened to her mom, and on top of that, she now has every violent act Mbessa has ever committed being done in her name. That everything that happens in Zon, she blames herself for, with the idea that she's doing this for the greater good just kind of falling flat when you look at the reality of the situation. Things are under control, but this is really just a powder keg, and Kate is leaning hard into the sunk cost fallacy, with only Mbessa's cynical wisdom trying to fill in those gaps and let her trick herself into doing what is clearly the wrong thing. You may not like it, but this is very in character for Kate, especially when you account for the fact that Kate was fantasizing in the shower about a convict she met the day before. Kate can fall fast and hard, so her ending up with anybody in the intervening few months between Act 1 and 2 is so on brand. It's heartbreaking for those who want to put their OTP on a pedestal that yes, the two just waited for each other when no, not really. Maddie ain't a homewrecker, though the reveal definitely makes it feel that way. Honestly, the only thing crazier than Kate sleeping with Maddie is that we haven't gotten confirmation that Vi hasn't slept with every 6-foot lesbian within arm's reach.
Everything reminds me of her!
Vi has spent the last few months in a self-destructive bender, chasing away the one guy who is seemingly on her side. Her nights were filled with boxing matches and her liver fighting to keep her alive. She is in a dark place, and if you told me she ended up at other people's apartments more often than hers, I would not be surprised. As, look at her. She took this breakup so hard. Vi only had Kate for a few weeks, but she was so devastated by the breakup that she took a page out of her sister's book and started hallucinating. She was seeing Kate at the club, remembering that one time in bed. Vi honestly fell even harder than Kate did. Though given how Vi had nothing to live for after Powder became Jinx, you can see why her thoughts might linger on the one last goodish thing in her life, not to mention being surrounded by the consequences of her ex's actions. Vi had nothing to live for, then all of her family members started coming back to life. Also, Kate came back.
Coat it, Cupcake.
Immediately. Folded immediately. They can try and be testy throwing barbs at each other, but the second Vi says the magic word, Kate's worry comes back and they quickly get on the same page. As yeah, they do need to stop Mbessa, as Vi needs to protect her dad and she definitely hid the fact that Jinx was also with her. The two work together to put on a show, getting some well-needed couples therapy in, as they're able to do the things that they probably thought about in their worst moments. I loved how Vi asked for this and she still didn't think Kate would hit her that hard. Pretending that she's kidnapped, Vi is able to listen to Ambessa put the final nail in Maddie's coffin.
Your absence provided a vacuum I was able to fill.
Am I chopped liver?
Yes.
Maddie tried, she threw out suggestions, but the only person to pull Kate out of her tunnel vision was the one she pushed away. Like, Maggie, I am so sorry for you, but you're just not her. Was probably what Kate is gonna tell her 5 seconds after Vi demands to know how the fuck did this happen. And after that, they'll bang.
You swam the Mississippi to find me. I hate you. As you should.
Okay, just to wrap things up, I'm curious to see how Kate and Vi will interact in the final few episodes. Like, truly, how much more beef can we squeeze in this last home stretch? As they will be fighting much bigger things, and we will be getting a lot of lore dumps. But Vi seems ready to grill Kate on the whole martial law thing, but Kate is gonna have some legitimate grievances given that Vi has been working with the mother murderer and definitely didn't mention it. Meaning that the girl that Vi is trying to raise up will be the one that Kate wants to shoot down. She'll probably learn less about letting go of her anger, even if she probably won't ever forgive Jinx. And Maddie will also be there. They'll probably do something with her. Though to be clear, Maggie isn't some wife-stealing whore, nor is she some impressionable victim sleeping with her idol. From what we've seen, her admiration is more directed towards Vi than anything else, and this whole relationship is just kind of a mess. It's one of those ones where it's kind of pointless to argue like, oh, who's worse, what's wrong? It's like, no. People are living and it is messy, and that is very much reflected in the writing. One of them chooses to sleep with a grieving woman who just had a breakup, and the other one is banging her coworker after becoming her boss. This is all messy and a symptom of someone not handling death and becoming a dictator very well. But this shot is gonna live rent-free in my head as, come on. From all the theory crafting, all the ideas like, oh, what's gonna happen? How are they gonna react? How are they gonna get back together? And why the fuck is she dating someone else? It so puts a wrench in everything people were expecting to happen, making it so funny when it does. And it's unserious, so we can just enjoy the ride versus getting actually annoyed with it. This is just the kind of dumb shipping nonsense that I love. And I need a distraction for whatever the fuck is going on between Jace and Victor.
You're alive.
What the fuck, bro?
Alright, that's gonna be all from me, guys. What do y'all think of the whole situation going on? Are there any other ships in Arcane that I should be talking about? Is Mel pregnant in this one shot? We do not know, but I'm very curious to see how this will all turn out. And even more curious to see, like, okay, where will Arcane go after this? As we're gonna get more spin-offs. And while I detest love triangles, Arcane has the opportunity to create one of the dumbest shipping wars you will ever see.